All right, so today and age, we have a difference of opinion when it comes down to baby boomers and millennials. And one of the questions that has been brought to the table is, what should we truly marry for? Should we marry for love or should we marry for partnership?
Now, if you go back to marrying for love as opposed to what you're saying, opportunity?
Yeah, for a partnership.
For partnership. I think it's a combination of both. One of the things that I believe is that you can learn to love, but you can't be a partner if you don't have anything to offer. So if you come to someone and you love them, but they have nothing, then pretty soon the seeds of that love will begin to deteriorate.
Yeah.
However, if you come as a partnership and you both are given to the table, pretty soon you will learn more things about your partner aside from what they can contribute to that relationship. But you begin to understand and love them even more because you're discovering that their worth is even more valuable than that superficial thing that we think is love when we first meet somebody.
Oh, so you like a little bit of both. How about yourself, Adrian?
But I tell you, I know my partner can say it better than me.
Because I believe without love, you can't have a partnership. When you're talking about marriage, I think you have to love each other first. Let's say if I decided to marry for partnership and there is no love between me and the partner, then what happens when we have a difference? What happens where the rubber meets the road and it gets difficult and we don't have love? I mean, that is the very foundation to me of the relationship. I have to love you because you're talking about being with you for the rest of my life.
But we think about
all of my life.
I agree, but we also got to put into financial security. You're talking about I got to be with you for the rest of my life. So I need to know that I'm going to be safe to do this for the rest of my life. What if that's just you're just trying to plan ahead?
But you gave me an A or a B. You said love or partnership.
And you choose love.
I choose love and build on a partnership.
I like that. Okay, and I'm coming over here to Jonathan and Paige. All right, they are actually a couple. Is that okay for us to mention? I think it's going to be noticed, so I felt like I should mention it.
Oh, he's going to be very
All right.
He can talk to us after.
So what is your opinion on this question and this concept?
I kind of want to go ladies first. I kind of want to hear.
Partnership. For us, the love followed after the foundation was set. We knew that we were great friends first, and we knew the type of people that we are and wanted to be, and we already had that self-love. So the partnership was easy to build the love on top of it. It's like the little things, the things that, matter. It's like, oh, you really like me, I really like you. This is really going somewhere. And the love just fell in our lap.
Okay, so I'm glad I let her go first. No, that was good. And it kind of reminded me of kind of the introduction of our relationship. I think that kind of the difference is just everything is about thinking. Like you're chopping through ideas and you're deconstructing and you're looking at stuff in a different way. And I think that kind of is where we are and what we benefit from. And for us in particular, I had made a decision that I wanted to deconstruct my ideas about love, and that I think that a lot of people just follow through emotionally. I think when we talk about love, we're talking about something where people are going based off of a flush of emotion, like how this person makes me feel emotionally. And I think that there is a certain kind of danger in that, in that you put yourself in a place where you make comfort with things that maybe you don't have to be comfortable with. And that kind of seems to be also one of the higher discussions for our generation, where we're not about settling for things, whereas the generation before us didn't really have so much questioning of things. It was kind of like, these are the ideas that are passed down from my parents. These are the things that are passed down from my peer group.
So, if I can understand you clear, you're basically saying marrying for love, you're marrying off of, I feel good, this feels right, we should do this because it feels good right now. Whereas if you bring a tentative plan to the situation where you say, you know what, I can foresee us growing somewhere as individuals coming together in partnership to be a little bit more of a wiser decision.
Yeah, I think people rush. I think a lot of the things that people end up learning about themselves and about people generally inside of like romantic relationships, you can learn in a friendship that's close if you're willing to have that patience and not, give over to the flush of emotion.
I got a rebuttal.
Okay.
I have a little bit of one too, but I have to let my sister go first. Go ahead.
Because as a single mother, as a single person today, what he's saying works for me today. Because I need to be in, and I have to learn from the millennials how y'all do dating is so far different than the way I used to do dating. But y'all way of doing dating works now. My method of doing dating, to me, don't work like it used to.
Oh, it's a different day.
It's a different day. So looking at it from his perspective, he's absolutely right, because you build this partnership first. Even when you start dating, see, back in my day, you was kind of like looking for your soulmate, and you were going on these feelings, the butterfly feelings and all of those things, but that's not today. When you go dating today, people want to be like, well, what do you do for a living? Like, what's your 5-year goal plan and all? They're looking for a partnership to grow into love. It has reversed.
Yes.
But the reversal seems to be what I have to flow in today, to me.
I find myself agreeing with our millennials also in a way, not rebutting what they say.
This is good.
But I love the fact that you have to have a partnership to build love. Love seems to be something that's elusive. You feel it well one day and you don't feel it the next day. It's something that moves you 1 minute and the next minute it has faded away. Where if you have a partnership and you appreciate that partnership and the partnership brings something to the table that eases the pain of the other partner, elevates that other partner to a different place, and you all mutually complement each other in your growth and development. I can love you a lot, but if we get put out because I haven't got a job, love fades right away.
It does.
I mean, it really does. All of a sudden, it's hate. You're going to you're fighting divorce in the court. But if I'm doing my job, even if I just take you to dinner, all of a sudden you start feeling warm feelings towards me because I'm doing something special for you. So it's an indication that the partnership is more important. The more I can do to show you that I appreciate you, and I mean in the way of forming a partnership.
That's true.
Helping you, paying the bills together, talking and solving each other's mental issues and all that, going through difficulties together. That partnership actually builds up a more serious form of love.
That's true.
And as you build that up, then you are solidifying a relationship that will last forever, as opposed to me looking at you starry-eyed one night and saying, I love you. And then realizing we have nothing to share, nothing to contribute to each other's lives and
We
development.
done jumped on the millennials.
With the millennials.
Okay. That was good.
Yeah, I want to find middle ground too. You can go first.
I was going to say that from what I've noticed from our generation, love takes a lot longer for people to realize they have to work for it.
Wow.
They don't. It's like when you love somebody, you have to realize that the partnership that you're ultimately trying to establish and solidify, you have to work for it. Now, for us in our generation, it's easier for us to go to work. It's easier for us to work with this person on certain little things, but emotionally, financially, those things that make you truly see who a person is and like love that person, we're not willing to work as hard for those things because everybody is so, I'm all about me and I don't care about you, or I care about you but not as much as I care about me.
Right.
So there's that too.
That's good.
Yeah,
I'm speaking to the mic here.
I think as we kind of come into the middle ground, I think one of the differences though that baby boomers kind of have the advantage in the pro is that they at a certain level mature faster than our generation.
Oh, that's a great point actually. I catch what you're saying.
You have to have a level, I think, where yes, we're kind of looking at partnership more and things like this. I think in a lot of ways too, though, that immaturity makes people walk away in situations where they don't need to, and sometimes stay in situations that they don't need to stay in.
Great. Okay. All right. So going into our next question, everyone, we're going to talk about relationships and how they form, especially when you're going into marriage. Back in the day, I mean, this is just what we know to be true. You hop the broom, jump that broom. You know what? I love you. We're going to make this thing work. We're one unit. Let's just jump the broom. Let's make babies. Let's do the whole thing. Y'all can do our whole process in a matter of a year or two and just jump right on in. Whereas millennials today are finding it to be a little important to get to know each other deeper first, and the word shacking up comes to play. A lot of times, you know, it's not seen upon as a good idea to shack up and move in with each other before you really, you know, get married. So, question is it better to shack up first and kind of get to know each other, or should you just jump into marriage because of the fact that you know that this is the person you want to be with for the rest of your life?
So this is for me a hard question. It's kind of a wash. I'm not sure.
Okay.
I don't know.
It's okay. How you feel, Paige?
The millennial in me is like, hey, shake up, get to know him, you know, do what you need to do to get where you're trying to be. But at the same time, I view marriage as important. A lot of people my age don't. They don't see it as sacred. They don't see it as something that is important, as something that is necessary. It's just a piece of paper to them. And they gonna live with whoever.
It don't even matter.
As long as the rent pays.
It's gonna work itself out. So you would say it's based upon, you know, what we need to do in order to survive. It becomes more of a survival mode than it does the principle of what's important to establish a union and all that. The union can wait.
Exactly.
Right now, we need to make sure we're surviving out here together as best as we can.
Exactly.
Okay, I hear you. Let's see what we got going over
I
here.
think I can take it from here. Because I did it. You know, when I first was in my first relationship, my only relationship actually, I lived with him first. And I lived with him for over 10 years. And then I married him. What I found to be the problem is I was acting a wife, being a wife, holding down a house like a wife. And as life go on, there were some decisions I couldn't make as the girlfriend. Because when the rubber meets the road, when you're in a situation and he's in the hospital and there's things that need to be done, or we're living together, but I am not able to make decisions concerning his life as his girlfriend that I could make as his wife.
That is good. That is strong.
Life happens, and we in this life, and I really look at it now like we were playing house. But life situations were happening that we needed to make decisions as a married couple.
Yes.
For me, it was easy to get out too.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, I ain't your wife. I ain't really got to take all this mess. I could just go ahead and go back home to my mother and leave you here in your misery by your damn self because I don't want no parts of it.
There's no contract.
It was no contract. It was an easy
Nothing
out.
holding us here.
Yeah, I mean, you know, hey, you take visitation to your kids. You can see them when you want to, and we can make some arrangement. There was just no commitment. It was easy to get out.
No accountability.
It was nothing. You had nothing. There was no accountability, no responsibility. You know. But when I made the decision to marry the person, now it get real.
Yes. Okay.
Now it gets real.
Yeah.
So, but then we became a praying family, a family that lived together, ate together, made decisions together. But it became real.
Yeah.
And I still wanted to get out, but I chose.
Honesty.
I still wanted to get out, but because of the commitment I made, not only myself but unto God, I decided to stick it out. to death. And when he died, then everything was in order. And it wasn't worried about, well, you wasn't his wife. You can't get the house. Well, who the car gonna go to? It was in his name. You ain't got no right to it. You ain't the wife. So I ain't had to go through all that.
Right.
It was in order. It was smooth. What went to the kid, went to the kid. What went down, because it was in order.
Yeah.
So for me, now, because back then I had to try my milk before I bought it. But I'm no longer like that. I don't try my milk out first. I want to marry before.
Yeah.
How about me? I thought we were going back.
Oh, I mean, we flowing. You're the last voice here.
Well, I think that it all comes down to what your intention is in the beginning of any relationship. For me, the intention has to be that I intend to invest in you as a partner, but I want that investment to be protected. So as easy as it is to get to know someone and to share a quasi-married life first, that makes things easy without any responsibilities. But when you make all that investment, it's like taking all your hard-earned money and investing in a stock or a company that you never have any document to say that you did that. So that company can choose to leave, your investment goes away. Anything can happen, and you're just a loser or a winner based on chance. I'd rather say, listen, forget all this unseriousness in the relationship. I intend to marry you, and that's what I want to do. And I'm going to invest in this. If it goes wrong, there are legal remedies that allow us to separate and dissolve this relationship fairly and equitably. We may be angry with each other, but there's a court that we can go to where this separation will be documented and it'll be fairly done by an arbiter or a judge. If I'm shacking up with you and I'm paying the rent and I'm paying your medical bills and I'm doing all of a sudden you decide to go out with Joe Blow and now everybody's upset, I lose totally.
That's right. That's like
and I've invested my life.
But that's what makes me
So I got to know you, but I became the loser as a result of it.
That's right.
That's what makes me think, though, that's why it's hard for me to say defensively, because that's what kind of makes it a wash. Because I understand the concept of, I don't even want to get the contract signed, and then we're gonna, 5 years, 17 years later, then we're in court fighting, like, and I put all this effort in, like, if you trash, like, let me just see you trash before I do this. On the same token, though, people are still making those type of investments even while they're cohabitating. So either way, you could lose or you could win.
That's where a prenup comes in.
But where's the bigger loss?
Because what happens when you have some kind of a marriage, when you have a document, when you're agreeing on paper, what you're really doing is flushing out what were the intentions in the first place. If I only intended to spend the night with you for maybe a year or two, and that's all I really wanted out of it, you'll never know that until that difficulty comes. But if I'm saying, hey, we're going to make this a commitment, all of a sudden the intent to only spend the night for a day or a year gets flushed out and I'll disappear. Because then the relationship and the intention is made clear to both parties. And a lot of times these love relationships don't really start out as love. The communication is not honest. And somebody on one end of the table be saying, I love you and I want to be with you forever. But in the back of the mind, that's not the case. They really just want to be together that night after dinner. And the night after that after dinner. But if I'm coming and saying, I appreciate you so much that I think I can offer a lot, and I'm willing to put my offer on the table and a commitment with it, then there's some seriousness involved. And one of the difficulties in millennial relationships is the lack of seriousness. Certainly not the ones with me right here at the table. But in many of them that I see, it's the lack of seriousness and honesty.
That's intense.
That can only be flushed out if you say, I'm committing in the beginning.
Yes. Okay, so we've talked about love, we talked about relationships. Now, when it comes down to after you finally got married, you done brought it all together and we're living together, it's official. When you're in this house together as man and woman, a lot of times baby boomers believe that it should be the man is the breadwinner. He's the one who brings home all the bacon and the woman cooked the bacon. Whereas a lot of times millennials today believe that this is 50-50. I'm working, you working. I'm cleaning, you cleaning. we're not going to say that this is my job because I'm a man or this is my job because I'm a woman. We're in this together. So pick your drawers up off the floor because that's not my responsibility. Now, question then goes, should we stick to the traditions of it being the man having the head of the household and the woman being that one that takes care of the house? Or do we go into where it's better to be 50-50? Look, baby, we in this together. Let's make it rock as one unit together, each one doing one part of the whole thing. So we're going to start with the baby boomers on this one. We started here last time.
Let me take it first.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, here's where I'm going to be in trouble. I come from a traditional family. I think under the traditional values banner, that men do have certain responsibilities that they should have and should totally be responsible for. And all the help that we can get as men is always going to be appreciated. But even without the help, it's still a man's responsibility. And it's unfortunate that now situations and societal norms have changed, and now everybody wants to be equal. And there's nothing wrong with that. I love the equality. But what it rules out is the fact that we're equal, but we're equal because we are contributors to a whole package. We're not equal because we're all individuals with the same kind of abilities and responsibilities. I can't give birth to a child, so you can't call me equal to the value of the woman. That doesn't mean that I'm any greater than her, and that's where society has thrown off our own self-value. Men have thought all the time, and historically, that they're better because they go out and hunt, and they go out and raise money, and they support the family. And women, in their mind, has been less than because they give birth to the child and take care of the home. So what needs to be changed is not the fact that we are not equal because the man is responsible for that. What needs to be changed is our perspective of what equality means. Equality means that we come to the table with two totally different packages of value that can only exist if the two exist together. I'm not as good at what I do if I don't have a spouse that does good things in her worth.
Yes.
And so I should not look at that as two unequal partners. We're equal, but we're not equal at the same jobs. So, so this society wants us to be equal at the same job. She can go off the war and fight the war and shoot the same number of enemies as I can. I don't particularly agree with that. I don't care how popular that is as a point of view. I agree that I have a responsibility that's to protect her in her role. And if she wants to go, I'm not going to object to it. But I'm not going to encourage her. Because I need her to do what I can't do. And I can't sensitively raise the children or protect the home or groom a man into being a man in his early years. Those are the things I can't do.
Right.
So why would I want her to jump into the field of things that I can do when I know she has a role all of her own? So the big change has to be in my thinking, in my evaluating her and knowing that what I do is no better than hers. But there are differences.
Yes, that's good. That's excellent. All right.
Because I'm going to piggyback from what he's talking about. And I agree because I am a wife. And as a wife, I believe I have a role to maintain a temperature in my home and keep it stable so my husband can be everything he needs to be without worrying about how everything in the house is running, what the children are going through. Now granted, he sets the temperature because he is ruler over the home, and I have to maintain his order in the home. Well, if it need be, if I have to go work, then this is when the partnership come in. You know, maybe mind if I go work, or do I just stay home? I don't. That equality, you gotta define what you're saying equality, because now I'm into my partnership. And my partnership as his wife, as his helpmate, I get in my position, maintain the house, the children, and keep stress off the man. That's my position. And I don't deviate from my position to go out there to fight some war and do all this other stuff when I got my house going crazy. My house got to stay in order, and it's got to maintain that good temperature. And craziness coming in and out of it, I control that. It's what I allow in it. And truthfully, a happy wife is a happy house.
Yeah.
Truth be told,
Keep it honest.
that is true. But that's when I think the partnership does come into play.
Okay.
More that 50-50, because it ain't 50-50. Wives do a lot, but her husband does a lot too. It ain't no 50-50.
No.
I've learned from males who actually understand that they have to cater to their wife in terms of like sharing that responsibility of taking care of the children, sharing that responsibility of cleaning the house. Because at the end of the day, like, she a person too. Like, she get overwhelmed too.
Okay, well, let's talk about her. What are you feeling over there, Paige?
Well, you know, I'm kind of old school. I want to stay at home. I want to be in the house.
Yes.
I want to be able to get up and do what I want when I want. I want to be able to take care of his needs as well as the children and tend to my house the way that I want to. Right now, our household is operating at kind of a 50-50 kind of thing because we both work and we both have to split time with the kids and split cooking dinner and all of those things. I would like to relieve him of those burdens just because I feel like that's my duty as a woman. If I could just be barefoot and pregnant in the house all day, that's what I want to do. I'm good.
Right.
So it's a little, the 50-50 is not really the best thing because everybody's always tired. Because everybody's putting in the same amount of energy into the same things. We're both doing the laundry. We're both cooking. We're both wiping the walls. We're both taking care of the kids. We're both taking care of the pets or whatever else may be. We both have our eyes on the finances and stressed in different ways. So it's like, if one person takes care of one thing, or they have a category and a list of things that they're supposed to take care of, and another one, then it's easier to come together at the end and you're able to kind of meet each other's needs more because you have more time.
Yes, I agree.
That's when old school wins.
Yeah, I would kind of say, and the way it's sounding is, it's best to really come 100-100. Be 100% man and 100% woman, and bring your 100% self to the table, and don't try to change yourself, but stick to who you are and what you bring to the table. So in closing, I believe that the main goal is to stick to the original purpose of who you are. You can't allow society's rules or what's happening, the past rules to define who you are. Your true authentic self is going to give you your best result. And even at the end, where, we was talking and going back and forth, a lot of times we ended up seeing the same points, the same perspectives, because honestly, that is who you are. You are a man. You are a woman. You have value in this, and you have value in that. So, outside of all the, I like that word. What was that word? Trendencies? I like this word.
I love it too. It was good. I wrote it down.
Outside of all the, I wrote it down. Outside of all the trendencies, we really are our best at our core self. So, I believe that moving forward, that's what myself personally I would take from this is, stick to the truth. Stick to the truth of where your values are centered and be your best 100 self. Don't try to be a man. Do not try to be a woman. That's not who you are. And coming out of those things is going to push you in a place where you're going to hurt yourself more than help yourself.
Amen.
All right. With all that said, thank you all again for coming out and supporting Millennial Mingles. All right. Also, everybody, please check out Millennial Mingles on YouTube as well as on Instagram. We do thank you for all your support. We see you again soon. All right.